All right. Good morning. My adjustments here. Camera. And do a little chanting. Thanks for joining us. Let me know if the sound is good for you guys. Double check here. Sound situation. Okay. That's good. Yeah, just let me know on the sound, friends. Hi, I'm good. How are you? Good. Nice to see you. Namaste. Good morning. Yeah. I'll see you next week too. Yeah. This looks fantastic. Awesome. Yeah. Grateful. We're streaming already, just so you know. Sasina Indra Shavaha Sasina Purusha Shvedaha Sasina Starcho Varishnehi Sasina Vyaspatir Vidatu Om Hayaha Pratina Hayo Sudhishu Hayo Vivintam Hayo Daha Hayaspati Pradishapa Santurmaya Om Vishnu Radhamasi Vishnu Krishna Presto Vishnu Shursi Vishnu Dosi Vishnu Masi Vishnu Om Agnya Devata Bhata Devata Surya Devata Chandra Devata Vasudha Devata Guru Devata Aditya Devata Narado Devata Vishnu Devata Devata Vrispati Devata Varno Devata Om Yaha Shantiram Shanti Vritti Shantirapa Shantir Oshadaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shantir Vishvedeva Shanti Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantirev Shanti Sama Shantirevi Om Shanti Savitavitani Tora Sivadikatamya Siva Om Shanti 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 Sarva Vishwa Sushantir Bhagatu Om So I'm just going to slip a little closer to the streaming friends here that are on the call today. Namaste, good morning, Sam, Beth, yep. Gotcha, nice to see you. Hope the sound is sounding okay. And today, the subject, if you will, of our class is called Ekagrata. And Eka means one, and essentially is describing this idea of one-pointed mind. And it's a kind of a necessity to develop the capacity to concentrate in a more refined way. And when that happens, there's this kind of layers that open internally. And so I wanted to talk about this thing that the yogis call the chitta. And the chitta is considered the individuated conscious field. And it has three features to it, essentially. And this is, again, just all kind of according to yoga philosophy or yoga teachings. And the first is called manas, and that is translated as mind. And but further, it's translated as the sense recording faculty of mind. And so what it's essentially describing is that through the five senses is how we access the understanding of the world, of the universe. That's what informs our experience. And so if you sit back and kind of think about that a bit, we find that to be true. It's like how we get information is through the senses. But then what happens is the senses receive some information, say, and then it's transferred into what's called buddhi, buddhi, buddhi. And this is considered the intellect feature of the being. And so from the senses, then there's, say, a discrimination around the information that was received, by the senses from intellect. And this is where, this is where, in the yogic sense, buddhi can be, if you will, pure or impure. And a purified buddhi actually is sattvic or pure in its essence and has the capacity then to perceive the world in a very refined state. And the reason that we don't is because of all the conditioning, and this is where it shows up. And the last feature is called the ahamkar, and that's the ego. And that's, in yogic sense, the ego is just that I'm identified, okay? And you can kind of play with this idea when you're out in the world to say, oh, I'm seeing a tree, or I'm seeing some feature. So my vision is experiencing that. And then maybe there's a fragrance, maybe there's a breeze that you can feel on your skin. So then all of a sudden, manas is functioning fully. And then that information comes into buddhi, and then there may be some evaluation of, say, the ego, right? So that process is happening in a comprehensive way all the time. All the time. And so it's almost subconscious is the word. It happens without consciousness because it's just an automatic feature of how humans or even animals work, right? But then the necessity to kind of relieve the mind from all of that processing comes, where then once we begin to concentrate, Ekagrata, when the mind becomes one-pointed, then the capacity for perception to be fully, highly internalized and, if you will, illuminated, begins to take place. Without that, the mind is always in a mode of processing. It's processing and processing and processing. And so in yoga, what happens is our practices that we do, even the asanas and things, our pranayama meditation, of course, bring us into this field where the mind begins to release its attachment, if you will, to the normalized processing of things. And the reason why that happens is that when we do these practices, our subtle body is stimulated. And then the mind, whether consciously or unconsciously, begins to feed perception into the subtle fabric of our being. It's just what happens. When we collaborate with that, though, then the capacity can then deepen. The value of all this, if you will, is then as that deepens, then the latent power that exists inside of our being begins to emerge from the depths of the inconscient places that it's existed in, the places that are unconscious in us. And this is how, say, an easy example of this is how intuition develops. It's all of a sudden there's an emergence of a higher strata of perception that just happens organically. And that's just one of a whole plethora of examples. But the necessity to begin to practice like directing the mind to a more refined strata of experience is very, very important. And so what I would offer today to link this, into our practice, I'm going to take a little sip of my chai, is say it can be done in a lot of different ways. Everyone, take by bringing, say, the mind to a certain aspect of your experience in your practice. And it can be your breath. It can be, say, a physical structure of the body that's been designed by a cue, it's like, oh, engage this muscle, engage that muscle. But whatever it is today, I would like for you to begin to set the mind in a kind of like in one place as best you can. And really, again, the value of that is then the mind begins to learn to become one pointed. And we'll kind of play with that feature in our meditation. We'll see how that unfolds. So much gratitude, friends, that you joined here this morning on the stream, and also friends here in the studio. And I'm just going to slip back to my abode here, and we'll get going. Ekagrata, one-pointed mind. And it's almost like, when we're in our daily life, we can just, as we walk down the street, we can say, where's my mind focused right now? And typically what, say that, the Buddhists have guided us to know is that the mind is either in the past or in the future, most of the time. And this is why this practice of mindfulness emerges. The perpetual perception of the present moment without judgment. So mindfulness, the perpetual perception of the present moment without judgment. So gently let the eyes close, get comfortable in your seated position. And that idea of mindfulness, we feel like that's such a, if you will, an epiphany in practice, and it really, honestly, is not. It's really just a beginning practice. The seeds of developing the concentrated mind. So breathe into the belly. So let's first initiate our practice with diaphragmatic breathing. We know this already. The belly floats as we inhale to the spine as you exhale. It's almost like you've come to this place where you're at the shore or the trailhead. And you're beginning a journey. And this pathway is going to take you through the regions of the mind. And then at some point there's a dropping off area where all of a sudden the strata of the physical world blends into the unknown, into the great abyss of your internal world. For the yoga, we invite whatever tether can bring you into the space of just the present moment. intention to emerge here and maybe include this idea of just present moment perception. And you're just on the voyage. Only guided by the moment. Chant a couple of moments here to book our sadhana. Begin the practice, and so exhale your breathing completely, and then take a nice big breath. Again, another nice deep breath one last one, so inhale your breath. Thank you for that. Let's just come off of our seated position, so we'll make our way to the top. Just come top fours here. So we can kind of unravel from, maybe the endurance of the seated position. So just begin to stir the hips, say, in a clockwise fashion. And then, of course, including our breathing with this, as we are familiar with, again and again. So inhale, flip the heart forward, and exhale the hips back. And then as we, again, then begin to move in the body, we recognize that there are really a field, there is a field of experience that the body's having. It might even be the pressure that you feel in your hands, or the pressure that you feel in your knees or your feet or your breath, or any sensation in the body. So now I've just identified an entire strata of experiences that is possible that you may be feeling. So switching the directions here. And then the idea for our practice today is just let the mind, say, focus on, say, as much as it can, one thing at a time. Maybe you just feel the pressure in your hands or the knees or your breath, and you just kind of focus on that. And as you do that, begin to recognize that other experience and this perception subsides because you're focused. It's very interesting. And then coming into a neutral position when you're ready, and we'll do cat-cow stretches, so Vidalasana, we know this. Inhale, look up, lengthen the front spine, the belly drops, the collarbones can be broad, and then exhale, rounding here. And again, begin to consciously select the point of focus of your mind. And again, for this purpose, in a way, I really don't care what it is. I just want you to find something that you can place the mind on and not remove it. Okay, very nice. And then from here, extend the right leg long behind you, tuck the back toes under. Just feel the stretch of the calf and Achilles. And then float the right leg hip height here. And then take a nice big inhale. And exhale, draw the knee into the chest, give it a little squeeze. And then inhale that behind you. Exhale round. And again, inhale that behind you. Exhale round. And then inhale right behind you, and then sweep it out to the right and just ground it so that toes point forward. And then gently release the hips back, and then the elbows come onto the forearms here. And just breathe. And so then, as say, like, at least for me, this feels fairly pronounced on my inner groin. And so I may focus, my attention on that, or rather just on the breath, you choose. And then gently ground the hands, foot up to neutral. Place the left hand under the face, and then inhale, take the right hand to the sky. Give the wrist a little bit of spin here, breathe deeply. And then big inhale, and exhale, back to neutral here, and we'll switch this out. So from tabletop, extend the left leg. Really reach to the big toe mound. Stay with your breathing. Again, begin to select a very directed place for the mind to big inhale. And exhale, rounding knee in the chest. Squeeze in. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, round. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, round. And then inhale, leg behind you, and then sweep that left foot over to the left, ground it. And then shift the hips back, and then bend the elbows, come onto the forearms here, and just breathe. So you probably have heard me kind of label this in the past, in the sense that can be a practice within the practice, and that's how I would identify this as having a practice within inside the practice. And then gently come up to neutral, and then ground the right hand under the face, and we'll do the same twist, and I'll float the left arm, give the wrist a little bit of a spin here. And big inhale. Next, so release the hand down, and then back to neutral position, tabletop. And then from here, extend the right leg behind you again, but then ground the right foot down. So on the left hand, you may want to move the left hand under the shoulder and take the right hand to the sacrum initially. Stay with the breath. And then when you're ready, float that right arm to the sky. And just breathe here, stay with the breath. And then take a nice big inhale, and exhale the right arm over the head towards the front of the room, and just create a moon shape in the side body here. Really reach for the fingertips. So engage the tricep muscle of the right arm and just try and reach towards the front of the room. And keep breathing deeply. Keep grounding the left hand firmly. And then just notice how your awareness, your mind floats between these kind of specific places that are instructed. And then bend the right elbow, bring the hand to the back of the head, and lift the chin. And just breathe here, stay with the breath. And a nice big inhale, and exhale, release everything down, 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 back to neutral. And then we'll switch this out. So when you're ready, extend the left leg behind you, ground the left foot, balance on the right hand, left hand to the sacrum. So take a moment there. Heart spins open. And then float the left arm to the sky. Just breathe, really reach here. We're going to do ground firmly the right hand, so feel how that can control the body. And then draw the left arm over the head towards the front of the room. And again, just be very aware of how you place your mind and how it relates to instruction and experience. Yep. And then bend the left elbow, hand to the back of the head, lift the chin here, and then just arch a little further. Breathe deeply, friends. And then a nice big inhale, Next, we'll gently release everything back into the neutral position. And we'll meet a downward facing dog when you're ready. So just let the, of course, tuck the back toes under the hips, lift, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe here. Stay with your breath. Have any little movements to feel like you're kind of exploring the edges of the body, of the skin. Then lift the heels here, come up onto the tippy toes, and then sink the heart. A little more information for the hamstrings. You may find, continue to ground the hands very firmly. And just focus on the breath. Release the heels towards the earth, so a little more stretch the calves. See what you're breathing. Let the mind settle on, inner object. Active concentration, we'll call this. And then child's pose. Nice and bend, release to the knees, hips, heels. Let the hands flow back to the ankles, feet, forehead, earth. Breathe into the belly. And actively surrender the tissues of the body. And then gently float up to neutral. And then we'll meet back into downward facing dogs. While you're breathing, and gentle bend of the knees, and we'll meet in a forward fold. So walk the feet to the hands. So engaging at the hips deeply here. Give the head a little bit of a stir, yes and no. Going into that. Release. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows here. See with the breath. And gently inhale. Half lift your hands, mid-chins. What I find valuable about slowing the practice down is that it allows for the mind to really settle. Say on this, again, this Eka, this one tattva principle, this one principle of your mind. Inhale, breath. Exhale, lengthen out as you pull down, chin tucks. The bottom hands can release. 2 more times on your own. Just breathe and move here. A little bend in the knees, and we'll send now the left leg back into a lunge here. Blocks on the hands could be helpful here. Fingertips, otherwise get our balance. We'll move with the breath. So inhale, straight the front leg, draw the forward towards the shin. And then exhale, bend the front leg knee. Do this a couple more times. Inhale, straight. Exhaling. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll release the left knee down to the mat here. Having a blanket under that patella can be helpful here. And just bring the hands to the right knee and thigh. Just take a moment here, pulse into this front leg, into that. And then gently inhale, float the arms over the head and just reach. Kind of reach the hands up and then back a little bit. But as you do so, put a little tone in the core. Just focus on the breath. Nice big inhale. And exhale, hands to prayer here. And then we'll twist to the right. So left elbow on the outside of the business, sinking down 15 knee. And into that, you can track the outside of that right hip back a little bit. Breathe into the belly here. Stay with the breath. Okay. And then a nice big inhale. Next, so gently release the twist your hands, plant. And then with an inhale, straighten the front leg. And then pull the toes up. And just bow over the extended leg, a little stretch in the hamstring. And again, so we're actively concentrating. So begin to, as you go through your practice here today, continue to select one place internally to place your mind. And then gently ground that right foot all the way up to the pads of the toes, so the top of the foot opens. Breathe. And then gently bend the front leg knee here. And we walk the hands forward one little step. And then open this right knee to the right. And then bring the right hand to the right near thigh. So we're twisting to the right. And then float the right arm to the sky. Yeah. Breathe. And then from here, bend the left knee and capture the foot or ankle. Stretch of the quad. Keep the heart spinning open here as best you can. Just do the breath. And nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release the foot here. Right hand plants. Inhale, you're breathing. And exhale, we'll unmeet in downward facing dog. Take a moment there. Some blood flows from that right hip. We integrate the stability of your down dog. And then move bend the knees, and then the left foot steps to the left hand here. Let a sense of quietude and just again, conscious awareness, conscious concentration develop. And then with an inhale, straighten that front leg forward towards the shin. And exhale, bend. A couple more times. And then gently release now that right knee to the earth. Take a moment, pat the patella if that's necessary things, and then hands to the left knee or thigh. A little pulse. Just let the hips open a little bit. And then gently float the arms. And we'll just reach here. Just with the breath. Just reach up and back. Again, place your mind very specifically, very precise. And just big inhale, and exhale, hands to prayer, and then we twist to the left, so right elbow on the outside of the near thigh, sinking armpit to knee. You can float the outside of that left hip back a little bit, and then continue to breathe into the belly. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, gently release the twist to your hands, plant. And then again with an inhale, straighten this front leg. Toes cool up, exhale, bow, they extend the leg. Just breathe here. Ground the left foot to the pads of the toes, open the top of the foot here. Notice where your mind is. And certainly notice if there's multiple places that it's placed, and just begin to rein that in. And then gently bend the front leg knee, the hands walk forward, one little step, and then the left knee opens to the left, the right hand grounds, left hand, left knee or thigh twist left. When you're ready, both the left arm to the sky. Breathe here. And then look bend to the right knee now and just capture a foot or ankle. Just go with the breath. And let's begin inhale. Exhale, gently release the foot or ankle here. Left hand plants, and we'll meet the forward fold. Back foot steps to the top. And down here. Take a moment. And inhale harder, half left. Pause here. A little bend in the knees, cactus the arms, and no flat back to standing. Reach the hands and arms over the head, a little sway in the body here. And then gently release the hands down by the sides, with a little bend in the knees, the eyes closed. We're going to do a little exploration of manas. Sense recording faculty through the elements as well. So first bring your awareness to your sense of smell, which is the earth element. So as you inhale, just allow for that interpretation of experience to be fed into blue tea, so be fed into the intellect function. Maybe the sense of, if you will, odor or fragrance is neutral, and maybe that is perceptible as well. And just notice how the mind is concentrating on the experience of smell. And then notice how that allows the mind to become focused on just that experience. And then notice if you're distracted. Easily that. Gently we'll inhale, flow the hands and arms over the head, reach. Exhale, smart guy, pull forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, and then send the right leg back into the lunge, and we'll ground the right knee again here, and then bring the hands to the left knee. In this position, let the heart space kind of drop back, and then chin tuck at the same time. Just going to feel like a broadness in the chest, length through the spine, and then just sink a little deeper into it. Leaning back, getting that hip flexor on that right leg, and then reach the arms over the head. And then bend the elbows, cactus the arms here. Breathe, and again, just recognize the responsibility, if you will, that you have to bring the mind into its fabrication of concentration. Inhale, breath. Exhale, forms. Inhale, open. Exhale, pulse. One more of these. Inhale, open. Exhale, pulse. And then release the hand down. And then the left knee will meet the right knee here. Exhale. And then inhale, reach to the sky. Spread the toes on the mat. Just notice how that kind of contracts the front of the body and stabilizes the form. You keep pressing the toes into the mat. You keep reaching through the tips of the fingers. And then with an inhale, then the elbows, cactus the arms here. Stay deep breath. And then inhale, reach to the stars. And then exhale, we'll come into child's pose. So just hands released to the earth gently. Hips to the heels. Arms stay extended here this time. Forehead earth. And just breathe. Again, select a pinpoint of concentration. So it's the yogi eventually develops his capacity to place the mind on a grain of sand. On one grain. And then gently inhale, float forward. We'll come into Bhujangasana. You know, this is Cobra pose, so grab the front of the body here. Pelvis, tops of the feet, hands, really firm. And then with an inhale, float your torso, shoulders, move away from the ears here. And just breathe. We'll pulse this a couple times. So inhale, breath. Exhale, float down. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. More. Inhale. Exhale. And then ground the hands, lift the hips, and just rotate the hips back into child's pose again. Gently with an inhale, we'll kind of float the hands up the mat, come and stand on the knees again. Let the arms reach over the head again. Toe spread. And then gently float the hands, this time to the low back, the palms. Right, low back, fingers point down, and then just a little Ustrasana here, just a little camel pose. A moment for that, lengthening through the crown of the head, a little support from the lumbar spine. Shoulder blades move towards one another, just to kind of create that interaction. Lift the heart space. And then belly button to the spine and hold that there. And then gently draw the hips back. Reach the hands and arms over the head. And then hands to prayer. A little tricky. Work the right foot forward now. Breathe here. And then send the arms up and back again. Sink deep. And then with an inhale, cactus the arms, heart floats. Inhale, breath. Exhale, pulse. Again, inhale, open. Exhale, pulse. And one more. Inhale, open. Exhale, pulse. And then plant the hands, back foot steps, rolling forward, Uttanasana. Again, take a moment here, breathe deeply. Inhale, half lift. See? A little bend the knees. Just cactus the arms. Inhale, reach to the sky. Once again, a little sway in the body. Into that. Stretch and reach, move in whatever way. It's intuitive, it's the best. And then float the hands and arms shoulder height. Then eagle arms here, so wrap the right arm under the left, forms palms come together. Just squeeze forearms here. And then give the head a little bit of a stir. Stretching the neck. That. And again, allow the pacing of your experience to kind of allow for that mind to again stay concentrated, focused, and turned. And switch this out, so inhale, float arms. And exhale, the left arm, the right hand, forearms and palms come together, squeeze. And we'll stir the head once again. Be different side to side. Gently neutral head, put the hands by your side here. Again, a little bend of knees, close the eyes. And then bring your awareness literally to like your tongue. So jaw level water element here and a sense of taste. And again, just place the mind on the surface of the tongue. Just connecting manas and buddhi. Sense of taste and its interpretation. Gently let the hands drop behind the back here. Interlace the fingers, inhale your breath. And exhale, pull down the knees, hinge at the hips, let the hands and arms go overhead. Just focusing the mind here. Speak inhale. And exhale, gently release the grip of the hands here. Then we'll just gently step back into down dog. And then gently back into child's pose. Just a moment here, friends. And gently we'll be back into downward facing dog. So inhale, breath, tabletop, exhale. And then Virabhadrasana 1, right side. So right foot steps, right hand, left heel, hips down here. Come to standing, take a second. Hips square off. Firm up the back of the quad. Squeeze inner thighs, core active here. And then float the hands and arms. And just reach, put some intention to extend the body. And then have the intention to also stay in dharana, a state of Ekagrata, one pointed concentration. And then inhale breath. And exhale hands. And you release the fingers. And just breathe deeply. And inhale breath. And exhale, put the torso on the inside of this right leg, hands and arms, and satchel over the head. Breathe deeply. And for concentration. The body release deeper into the form. And inhale breath. And exhale, gently release the grip of the hands, plant, and step back into high plank, high push up here. Stay with the breath. And float the right leg hip height here. Really extend the leg back, so engage the quad. Right leg. Big inhale. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Give it a little squeeze. And inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, release it down, and we'll switch. Stay with me here. Float the left leg. Breathe. Inhale, breath. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, left to right, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, breath. And exhale to the knees. All the way to the belly. And again, it's steeper, Bhujangasana. So ground hands for the torso. And up, breathe. Keep drawing the kind of the chin parallel to the earth, so lift the upper palate back and just press the head back. Bend the elbows. Inhale, breath. And exhale, down dog. So tuck the back toes and then lift the hands. Stay focused. Present, peaceful, refined in your awareness. A little bend knees, and then send the left foot to the left hand, so Virabhadrasana 1, other side. Come on up when you're ready. Take a moment to organize the body. Here, quad active. You're squaring a little, squeeze of the thighs. Together, core active. And gently reach. And again, put some energy to extend the body here. And some mental energy to stay focused. Nice big inhale. Exhale, float the hands behind you. And release the fingers here. Take a moment. Breathe deeply. Inhale, breath. And exhale, put the torso on the inside of this left leg now. Hands and arms over the head. Just breathe. Stay with the breath. As it's appropriate, let the body sink a little deeper in the form. Inhale. Exhale, gently release the grip of the hands. We're meeting high plank here. Let it back. Inhale, breath. A little different iteration this time. So, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog. Just gently roll over the tops of the feet, release the hips down. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Again, let the head kind of drop back. Little micro bend the elbows. Breathe in. Inhale, breath. And exhale, lift the hips back. And and gently release to the knees. We'll come into what's called Virasana, hero's pose. Blocks can be helpful here. Bring the hands to the calves and kind of push the calves down and open them. And just release the hips on the inside, however that may go. Maybe the earth, or again, maybe a block. Use a block. The body. Maybe. And then close the eyes here. And just bring your awareness to the darkness. Or maybe there's, some maybe little lights flashing behind the eyeballs. Rather, the sense of sight, the fire element. Just concentrated on that darkness. And gently here. We'll do another Ustrasana, another camel. So bring the hands to the low back from this position. Need to adjust. And then gently inhale, come on up. Go back into Ustrasana camel. Breathe deeply. If you'd like to explore taking this a little deeper, the hands can release to the heels, the heart lifts here. Just breathe deeply. Stay with the breath. Allow the body the endurance to open deeper. And then gently bring the hands to the low back. And then remove the block from underneath the pelvis. Separate the knees wide here. And then extend the hands and arms out. So Kurmasana, we know this tortoise pose or extended child's pose, Bakasana, the Russian pose. And then gently walk your hands back towards the body here. And then find your way back into Virasana, back into Hero's Pose. Here, close the eyes. And then gently bring your awareness to the surface area of the skin, preferably to a place where it's exposed to the air. So the sense of touch is connected to Vayu, which is the air element. Maybe you explore maybe temperature, or maybe there's a little breeze near you. Maybe the clothing that's on the skin explores, or rather reveals, that sense of touch. And just place your mind in a specific location. And gently just lift the pelvis from the block or your support here. And we'll extend the legs. And then a little twist and draw the right leg towards the body here. Float it up and over the left leg. And sit nice and tall. And then bring left elbow crease to the right knee, and then just sweep this right arm behind you, twisting to the right here. Really lengthen the spine. Spread the toes of that left foot. Stay grounded. Breathe into the belly. Allow the mind to focus. Here, just bring it in. And float this left arm over that right leg for a little deeper twist sensation you choose. And then gently begin to unravel. We'll do a little counter twist here. Look all the way around and then ground the forearms here. And just breathe into the belly. And press into the right foot a little bit. Again, just breathe into the belly. Gently walk the hands towards the pelvis here. And switch this out, so extend the right leg. Then draw the left hand foot and tucking over that right leg. Sit tall. Right elbow crease, left knee, and sweep left arm, twisting to the left. Breathe deeply, spread the toes of the right foot, so keep engaged there. To the belly, of course, and then maybe this right arm floats over that left leg, a little deeper sensation you choose. Breathe here. And as we inhale, next gently rotate out of it here, or look out a twist. Come to the right, ground the forearms here. And just breathe into the belly. Select some focus. Again, just fabricate how you're focusing. And then gently walk the hands back towards the body here. Extend the legs out. And so Paschimottanasana, you know this is west facing. Stretch, bring the hands to the shins here. And then let the action be up. The chin's going to tuck a little bit. So the action is kind of up before forward. Just try and sit really tall here. Breathe deeply. Ekagrata, the mind focus, nice, the dharana, concentration. And then big inhale here, and exhale, let the hands flow forward, and then go ahead and release the torso and head towards the earth. Breathe into the belly. Deeply breathe. Toes can stay a little active here. And go to the spine, gently inhale. Just track the hands up the shins here to come out, a little support for the body to come out. And then bend both the knees, just gently float the soles of the feet towards one another. So Baddha Asana. So let the knees float open, kind of muscularly ground the heels together by engaging the quads, and now track the knees down, sit nice and tall. Just breathe. Opening the knees. And then gently release the feet here, let the knees drop towards one another. You can support them outside the knees. So, and then step the feet a little forward. We'll come into a figure four here. So on ground, just on left foot and float to the right foot above the left knee. Like so. And then maybe sweep the hips a little closer to the heel. Let this right knee track forward a little bit. Spread the toes of the right foot, and then draw the belly button to the spine. Just breathe here. Select. So concentration. Gently take a nice big inhale. Next, we'll just float this right foot over to the left, ground it, and then kind of lift the heart, draw the shoulder blades together, and look over to the right. And breathe. Breathe deeply, friends. Keep tracking the shoulder blades towards one another. And then gently float back to neutral, but we're not done so much with this position. Track this left foot over to the right, and this is called Avistambhasana. You know this is part of those. Make any modifications that you need for this. Hands to the feet here. Just like that. That's everyone. Looking a lot better than you were here. And gently you rock back on the sacrum here to unravel from this thing. And then we'll switch. So both this left foot above the right knee. Scoop the core again. Scoop the hips a little closer to the heel. Wow. It's tight. Breathe deeply. Belly to the spine will reveal deeper sensation. And track this left foot over to the right, here grounded. And then just lift the heart, squeeze shoulder blades, and move to the left. Can be back into a little bit and just breathe very deeply. Gently begin to emerge from this here, knees to neutral thing, and then walk this right foot over to the left. So here. Breathing. From the spine, you can track that left knee towards the earth. If you want to take it deeper, you can lean forward into it a little bit. Gently begin to back out of this here. So fold here. Take a moment, just let the hands relax. Come into cross-legged position. So kind of it's called Sukhasana or easy pose. Whatever's fluid for you. Sit nice and tall. And then we'll explore the element of the Akash, which is the ether element and is connected to the sense of hearing. Just bring your awareness to the eardrums. Just notice whatever vibrations that are coming through the eardrums. Just focus on the eardrums. Just gently, we'll begin to again kind of unravel from here. For those of you in the studio, just spin around 180 degrees and make your way onto your back here. Just gently, knee for any great piece of strength. Just get your back. Give your body a full extension. Full body stretch, the arms over the head long. You can point and flex the feet here. Gently hug the knees into the chest, and a little squeeze. You can rock side to side, massage the spine. And then we'll come into Viparita Chakrani Mudra, our inversion. We know this. Hands grab a little momentum with the feet and the legs. Lift the hips. Blocks can be helpful here. Just going to settle in. And again, let your awareness pivot to focus to Ekagrata, to one. A little gentle bend in the knees here. Begin to release out of it. Our ribs most fluid for your practice. Give the knees a little hug into the chest. Rock side to side. And then extend the legs out, free Shavasana breath retention. So we do here. So legs extend out, feet open, palms turn up. Upward here. Take a nice, or rather exhale your breath completely. Start with the exhale. And now a big inhale, hold the breath in, just wait on it. Silently exhale. Do one more of those, but our cue is to pooch at the belly. So exhale the breath. Take a nice big inhale. Hold the breath in. Pooch at the belly. Silently exhale. Merge into awareness state here, friend. happens. To awareness. Allow the breath to be into the belly. Let the breath gently extend here. Begin to move the body. Just a reawakening to the form. Stretch the arms at some point. Hugging. Knees will end up on the left side. Just take your time. Left side. Eventually make your way to a seated position here as we come around. Just take a moment and establish the seated meditation position. Typically, we know a little support on the pelvis can be very helpful. Whatever's most fluid for you, but also great stability and ease. Nice for the body. The body can relax fully into the meditation position. Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras guided that the meditation positions should have the quality of sthira, stability, and sukham, ease. Stability and ease. With the intention to create the field, the container for the mind to eventually develop that Ekagrata capacity, the one-pointed mind. So we'll have another 15 minutes or so here of our practice. We'll do some basic breathing, some basic pranayama. Just allow the mind to drop into a very free and untethered, concentrated state. So we'll just do some deep breathing yoga, deep breathing with kumbhak, with breath suspension. We call it at the bottom and the top of the breath, top of the inhale, bottom of the exhale. The technique is very subtle. So moving to the top of the inhale, continue to filter the last remnants of oxygen into the lungs. And then also as you exhale, continue to filter the breath out of the body. One is invited to have really a sense of courage to discover the very bottom of the exhale. This is done with the full yogic breath as a reminder of the technique. The belly expands, rib, chest expands, so you feel the lungs like, say, a glass of water from the bottom to the top. And then again, we're inching the last little bit of air in the lungs on the inhale and letting the last little molecules of breath release from the lungs as we extend or suspend the exhalation. It's interesting, one may feel some rigidity in the body by trying to get that last little breath or two in. The technique is more subtle than that. It's allowing breath to come in, allowing breath to release. One is absolutely invited to test the length of your exhale. Just watching the nervous system and its impulses, its demand. Notice where the mind is, how it's placed in practice. Continue to refine its direction. With the next exhalation of the breath and its extension, allow for the modification of the breath to be released. So back to normalized breathing, say a few belly breaths. Yogis were brilliant. They understood the concentrated mind takes time to develop. understood it, actually the beginning phases of meditation should be at least a 20-minute length in time, whereby in that 20 minutes, when concentration is practiced, only then does the mind move from concentration to meditation. Within that fabric, we recognize that there are a number of points of contact that we can utilize to bring in the otherwise outward flow of mind. For our practice this morning, we'll be guided to three points of concentration. First, the breath. Shallow and sweet, fluid, like a mist even. And then the chakra of the third eye, or psychic center, or center of higher intuition and transcendental vision. It's 4 finger widths deep inside the brain, from the front to the forehead at the level of the eyebrows. You can even roll the eyes up inside the head to access this marga, its pathway. It's our second feature of our dharana concentration. The breath being the first. And then adding a particular quality of experience to illuminate our pranic energy, the mantra of So-Hum. So, S-O, so vocally as you inhale and hum, as you exhale. All the while placing this on the chakra, the third eye. The body's relaxed. The mind, though concentrated, has a freedom around it, has a sense of peace, a sense of allowing versus force, a sense of dispassion, vairagya. So-Hum. Just begin to recognize these 3 points of contact: mantra, breath, chakra. very subtly release the mantra. Let's focus in the breath and just concentrate on the third eye. Hands to prayer and just a moment of true gratitude for opportunity to practice together and explore in so many different ways the riches of the teachings of yoga in our community, our sangha here at Ahimsa Yoga and Illuminated Insight. Again, just I'm grateful for our time together. Namaste.
Namaste.
so that we're a little closer to our virtual friends. And thanks everyone here in the studio for attending. And for those of you who are online, thank you. Thanks like Maggie. Thanks for coming, and for everyone, for the community. And just a couple of announcements. First of all, next weekend here at Ahimsa Yoga is a grand opening. And so if you're in the neighborhood, stop by or check the internet and see the events that are happening, the classes that are happening. Please come to that. I have a retreat that I'm guiding next weekend, so I won't be able to be here in the studio, which I wish I was. So Nicole's here, the honor, and my apologies. And I'm sure they'll have a great time. And if you feel like you want to make it up to the mountains for a retreat time, please do that. And Gretchen, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks. And Tammy, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. And those of you who choose to remain anonymous, thank you as well. And always remember to love peace, everybody. Just love peace. See you soon. Be well.